And we have some news just coming in at this point in time. Hasina gets a death sentence, and there is unrest that continues in Bangladesh. A mob gathering outside the father of Bangladesh's residence. Mob wants Mujibur Rahman's house demolished. Security forces clash with the mob at this point in time. These are details that we have with us as far as the situation in Dhaka is concerned. These are pictures coming in right now of the tense situation in Dhaka. Indrajit Kundu has got more details. Talk to us about the current situation right now, Indrajit, and also explain these pictures to us at this point in time. Bangladesh continues to be on the edge, isn't it?
Well, Sneha, what we're given to understand is that, several of the protesters had moved towards Dhanmondi 32, which is the historic residence of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman that had already been vandalized, broken, torn down, and set on fire on earlier occasions. Whatever remains of that structure, there were some protesters who had actually gathered there with JCBs to demolish, the remaining structure there. But security officials, of course, stopped them, following which there were clashes between protesters and security personnel present at the area. And that's the visual that we are showing right now. In fact, as we've been stating since last night, there have been, tense situation across various districts in Bangladesh because the Awami League leadership, which is in exile, and Sheikh Hasina, who is currently in India, had given a call for a complete shutdown across Bangladesh. So therefore, we've seen Molotov cocktails, crude bombs being hurled in some locations in Dhaka. There were protesters who had burnt tires, blocked roads. Even though the leadership of Awami League is not present in Bangladesh right now, they are in exile across various parts of the globe. Awami League supporters were called upon to hit the street in protest, and they did. The peril, of course, is that Awami League is a banned outfit in Bangladesh right now, so a lot of supporters would like to, identify themselves because they know that the full wrath of the administration and the police would be against them. The Dhaka Metropolitan Police Chief last night had actually ordered given shoot at sight orders for anyone who is trying to take law onto their own hands and attacking security personnel. On the other hand, you see protesters, mostly student-led protests that took place and that resulted in the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. So those students had also gathered at the court today. They erupted in cheer as soon as the death penalty was announced against Sheikh Hasina. A group of them, we are given to understand, also were proceeding and marching towards Dhanmondi 32 to carry out the demolition drive with JCBs, and that's when they clashed with security personnel who stopped them, and then it resulted in these clashes. So Dhaka and Bangladesh overall would remain tense. It does remain tense, and the security agencies, law enforcement agencies, are monitoring the situation. The army, the border guards Bangladesh, as well as the police are out on the streets of Dhaka and across various districts to prevent any such violence that may take place in anticipation of the verdict that has already been announced today.
Well,
Sneha.
absolutely. These are pictures coming in. And Bangladesh continues to remain tense in that sense. Of course, Hasina is being tried in absentia on charges of crime against humanity. The death sentence pronounced. Talk to us about the way forward in Rajit as far as Sheikh Hasina is concerned and the legal way forward is concerned.
Well, that is something which is still unclear. I did speak to the second most high-profile leader of the Army League after Sheikh Hasina. That is the Home Minister, former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal. He is also in exile right now. He has also been convicted by the International Crimes Tribunal, and they are, they are all expecting help from India. So it makes India's position very, very precarious at this point in time. On one hand, it is about bilateral relation with another sovereign country in which the legal system has indicted Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina has been given shelter in India, but her legal status is still unclear. Is it a political asylum? Has Sheikh Hasina sought political asylum in India? permanently? Has the Indian government given political asylum to Sheikh Hasina? These are questions that needs to be answered. The Indian authority, of course, very, very closely monitoring the situation in Bangladesh. India, of course, has opened diplomatic channels with the interim government in Bangladesh ever since Mohammed Yunus took charge as the interim government. Within 2-3 months' time, in February next year, elections are scheduled in Bangladesh in which the Awami League will not be able to take part, is what the administration, the current Yunus regime, has already announced. In that sense, the options are way too few for the Awami League leadership, and they are mulling all these options. Sheikh Hasina, of course, spoke to her party cadres yesterday in a recorded audio statement that was released on social media platform, where she called on party workers to come out in protest against the International Crimes Tribunal, which the Awami League says is completely illegal. It's a rigged legal process, is what they are saying. And they are, of course, looking for help from India. Now, India would be torn between these two. One is the interim administration of a sovereign country, and the other is now a fugitive, the top fugitive of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who has now been convicted, indicted, and also sentenced to death. So India will have to do this, juggling as to how they are going to keep Sheikh Hasina. It can help India in terms of negotiations with Bangladesh. It can be a big bargaining chip for India, because there are several statements that have come in from Mohammed Yunus which has irked India, given the heightened activity and closeness, suddenly the closeness and proximity between the Pakistani leadership and the present Bangladeshi leadership is something that has not augured well, something that has really put a lot of worry for the Indian establishment. In that backdrop, having Sheikh Hasina in India would give some bargaining chip to the Indian establishment, because Sheikh Hasina has always been considered to be a friend of India, even when she was in power. So, as I said, whether this is a political asylum, what if now Bangladesh officially seeks
Okay.
extradition of Sheikh Hasina? What is going to be the stance of India? These are things that will have to be, that we'll have to keep watching in the days to
That's
come.
right. These are
Interesting
details
days.
that you have with us, and Rijit Kundu getting in your views on that story. We're tracking very closely Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal.